That was loud. Welcome to Evilive, loud music commentary show that answers the question: if Beethoven made bread, would he lay his head on it and thump the bottom? I don't know why I did that, like the mechanics. That's how he composed music. He laid his head on the piano. Anyways, pass.
Subscribe to 100% how it works.
Subscribe to the channel because today we are reviewing the Great British Baking Show Collection 11, Episode 3, Bread Week!
Motherfucking Bread Week. And god damn it, this was a butthole clencher.
Who would have thought bread would be so stressful for everyone?
God, especially the fucking technical, man. Oh my god. Almost everybody dropping their shit and then just fucking up completely. Like,
so
damn.
Awesome. It's crazy because week one technical was just like, these bakers are amazing.
Yeah, like everybody was out of the gate fucking just top notch.
Yeah, not so much this time.
No, they probably should have started this season, or the season with Bread Week.
For sure. It would have at least given regular expectations. Some people are sort of risen in the past week and staying on top. Other people, serial killer, have just dropped to the bottom.
Dude. Yeah, like I'm not surprised with who went home, but it was a very close second. I legit was thinking he might have been going.
I was kind of hoping he was going to be going just because I have grown to not like him.
That's funny.
I started out really like enjoying him and his smile, and it becomes like this desperation of a smile. This like, I have to smile.
Yeah, this episode is definitely that. No, Chris, you're watching
rage.
this because this is a fantastic fucking show, and you just enjoy it as much as we do. That's exactly what this is.
I hope. Otherwise, I feel bad for you. Oof. How you doing, man? All right, so this is, of course, the hosts are Noel Fielding and Alison Hammond, who is really growing. I know she was growing on me last week. I love her this week. I think she's
no, it's like she's been a part of it for a long time.
Yeah.
This week just really hit.
The beginning jokes didn't land, like with the actual contestants, didn't really land well, but it improved throughout the course of the episode so that it felt very comfortable, and she was like dancing for people. And
I was gonna say, as soon as she started dancing, man, that's when it picked up.
And even Noel was, entertaining as hell. I mean, it's Noel, so can't get bad. Anyway, they're judged by Paul Hollywood and Prue Leith, or Leith, or whatever it is. She was dope in this episode. Just the way that she presented. Look, we just want to see you make good bread. So simple, so easy. Like, there's nothing fancy about this opening challenge. Just make good bread, and we'll like it. Oh, that easy.
And that's easy, right? No, absolutely not. It is not. Like, okay, let's just break down what they're doing just at its base. They are literally taking a living entity and saying, you must make this for me. And if that entity decides, meh, you're going to have a shit bread.
I've had fights with yeast before.
Yeah, both of us have. Like, both of us can definitely, like, just hammer home how intense it is to work with yeast. And unreliable as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different strains, and like if it's not warm enough, they don't want to get out of bed, and then sometimes they're just like super energetic, and you're like, no, slow down. What are you doing? I mean, it goes all over the board.
I have had literal explosions because of yeast before. Just a little tip for everybody: if you decide you want to start brewing beer, don't wait a few times until you try making a barley wine. Or make sure that you've got plastic everywhere before you make a barley wine. It will explode.
What I think I love most about yeast, especially when it comes to like beer making and wine making, is the sort of range of smells you get during the fermentation process. And it's really all over the board. If you fuck up and it gets bacteria in there, you get this really nasty sort of sulfurous, shit smell that comes off it, and you pretty much have to throw out whatever you made. If you're successful, then you've got this almost, depending on the yeast strain and depending on what you're actually making, almost like fruit note of a very powerful scent that comes out. And it's just, you can't argue this is yeast, but there's like a hint of something else with it.
Yeah.
My whole house, because I just harvested my grapes 3 weeks ago, I think, or 4 weeks ago, and then we just did the whole fermentation stuff, and now it's like just sitting and aging. Our whole house for like a week and a half was nothing but yeast, so badly. And there's a damn fly in here. Did you see it? It was like
Just
Top
to prove
Gun.
the point.
Yeah, there's just it's living in my house now. It's really really a nightmare. But yeah, I've never seen such spread of underproved, overproved, don't know what the fuck they're doing, how come it's falling over, sort of nail biting tension as this cottage loaf challenge, the signature challenge.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be that complex, but holy shit, it apparently was.
It was like, all it is a small loaf on a big loaf. That's it.
Right.
So I go into it watching it thinking, oh, that's going to be super simple. And then I see people like fisting their loaves, and I was like, huh, is that a good idea? It turns out, no, it's not a good idea because they all got messed up.
Yeah,
I
pretty
was
much.
so stunned. I have to say, though, Rowan, he's the guy with the neck chin beard.
Mhm. Yeah, the neck beard. Yeah.
It's not even like a full anything. It's like a hint.
Yeah.
It's a 5 o'clock shadow chin beard, neck beard. He's growing on me. He's getting really funny.
Yeah, it's that self-deprecating humor that it really, really does it.
Yeah, he was just shit in the bed from the beginning to the end. And he started with, my stomach's all over the place. It's either bread week or that dodgy prawn I had last night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty
It's
good.
like, all right, he's going to shit his pants. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I was waiting for it, man. I was waiting for it.
Oh, he's so great. I thought it was so great. So did any of these cottage loaves stand out other than his Leaning Tower of Pisa?
You know, like on paper, a lot of them did, especially Dan's. Like Dan's just sounded fucking dope. Like, have you ever had wild garlic before?
No.
Motherfucker, it is beautiful.
Really?
Like if you can imagine, I'm trying to think texturally. It would almost be like eating a chive, like that crunch, but that delicateness. But it's just like a fucking double punch of garlic in your face. It's amazing. So like his on paper sounded great. Dana's that I want that so fucking bad.
The Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Because it's just like, oh, that sounds stupid, but that's funny. And then she like nails it with the flavors and the textures. So yeah, definitely with hers. I mean, Tasha sounded pretty good too, but yeah. And Saku's definitely, but I'm also a sucker for cinnamon toast. So
yeah, this episode just proved that Saku's still a goddamn hero in disguise.
Yeah, man, she's fucking awesome. Like I'm putting it down right now. It's either gonna be her or Tasha that's gonna take it.
Shit.
Like
Right.
I think I can confidently say that it's gonna be one of those two.
Yeah. I think Saku in like the multiverse of galaxies, there's a galaxy where she's literally a superhero. Like she's
Yeah,
like
100%.
silent, subdued, badass, just baking her way through evil.
Yeah.
Just when she's happy, I am so full of joy. It's not even fair because I didn't do anything but watch it. I'm sitting on my couch,
Right.
crumbs all over me, just total mess. And I'm just like, I just won. No, she won. And I'm just vicariously living through her experience. Same with Tasha. Whenever she gets a good compliment, I'm like, yeah. And I don't know if it's like there's some weird part of my brain like, well, she is deaf. She has a sign language coach there telling her everything. She's like a little bit under everyone else just off the gate because she can't, hear. Even though apparently she can, because she talks totally fine and she can hear the judges when they talk.
She's got the cochlear implant, so I mean it's there.
Yeah.
Ish.
So why is the guy there? I don't know. We just wanted to see a dude with a muffin top.
It's like I totally get it, man. Like there's some days where I can hear pretty damn decent, and then there's other days that unless you're screaming it in this ear, I'm not gonna hear a fucking word you say.
Oh man.
So I can understand how that goes.
That's why you turn that ear away from me when I'm talking to you.
Oh,
like,
every
I gotta
time,
tune
man.
This motherfucker
It's like,
out.
oh, sorry, what did you say?
Say it again in my good ear. Yeah, for me, Josh's looked really great. Like it was like the pizza one with like the olives and the cheese and everything. I was just like, ooh, I'd love to break that apart and have like cheese dripping with sauce and shit. Oh, that'd be great.
Right. That shot they had of it in the oven where it's just fucking oozing out. It's like, oh, that's That's a proper amount of cheese.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks so good. And everything that I thought I understood about bread was completely deconstructed and proven wrong. Even we've watched like all of these seasons, so it
Yeah.
shouldn't be new at this point. But when he started talking in the technical about the buns breaking and showing how the actual buns broke when they're cooking, I was just like, oh, I never paid attention to that before.
Right? That's
That
the
was
thing.
normal.
I love baking. I've been baking for as long as I can remember, at least 30 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, didn't know that. It's like, huh. All right, now that's one more thing to critique myself on.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. One more, as if we needed any more excuses for
Right.
self-loathing. We have one more.
Yeah, definitely.
So the technical. So I don't know. They did do like a winner for the signature? No one got a handshake. It was just
no one got a handshake, and whatever, we'll get to it. But yeah, no one got a handshake. And yeah, technical. That didn't seem like it'd be that complicated, but fucking kicked everyone's ass.
So basically, it's just a bunch of rolls, ostensibly,
Yeah.
cut, slited with jam, filled with cream, and topped with slices of strawberry. Sounds like the easiest possible thing you could ever possibly make. But
Yeah, but there's the big but.
I don't understand how it went awry. And I feel like if I tried it, it would have gone way worse. But still, it seems so simple.
Well, and the thing with this, because like when they were explaining it, it's almost like a donut. So the thing with donuts is it is a yeast bread, but it's like it's extremely active yeast, so it's really airy, really light. And yeah, everybody in this just seemed to make fucking like rolls.
Yeah.
Like super dense. And God, and fucking Dan. Oh my God, he shit the bed so bad. Like if anybody else would have been last place but him, it would have been a travesty. Forgetting the fucking sugar? How are you going to feed the yeast? No wonder it didn't rise. That's yeast usage 101. You have to feed the fucker.
Yeah, the thing about yeast is, like everything, it needs to eat. So yeast loves to eat sugars, and that's how it creates gases, which then, create the chemical change in everything you use yeast in. So bread rises, alcohol, or actually liquid and sort of juice becomes alcohol. And like, it's just, you have to have that. To forget that, there's something about Dan this week. He started and then he just went straight downhill.
Yeah, it's like he got into his own head. Like the first challenge was so rough that he just was like overthinking everything.
Yeah, like I can't get back out of this. I'm fucked. I'm gonna die.
It's
so stressful to watch.
He fucking almost did. Man, especially that last one, like the showstopper. God damn,
that was rough. I would not have put anything on the damn plate if it was like completely underdone and even the wrong dough.
Yeah,
I mean that was just a goddamn nightmare.
I would have been like, oh no, it's Ouiza or Ouizo. What's that? I don't know. It just sounds right.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's the ticket. Oh, John Lovitz. Yeah, Chris. Half Italian, half yeast now. Sugar produces gases. Yeah, the Devonshire splits, I'd never heard of them before. It sounds delicious if done right. And the ones that Prue and Paul tried look beautiful and delicious and amazing. You give me a bunch of cream and yeah, I'd love to eat that. And some fruit and stuff. Hell yeah. That sounds delightful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not one of them looked like that.
Not a single one of them.
I never, we watch so many of these and we talk amongst ourselves, and we just started reviewing them last collection season. And I don't remember Paul being like the bread guy. It's always like everything's a challenge for everyone, but I never once in my
Paul's
head.
always been the bread guy. Like he's like, that's what he's known for. Like most of his cookbooks are specifically centered around bread.
Oh, I didn't know
No,
that.
some bread weeks they'll really drive home that's Paul's shit. Some they don't. So
yeah,
I think it
just seems like a constant challenge, and everything's so difficult for everyone that I just assumed that's how it always was with everything. I didn't know that he was like the bread guy. So what's Prue then? What's her like thing? Just being a badass.
I don't know, being a fucking dope ass alcoholic, I would imagine. Like I would fucking party with her, man.
Oh hell yes.
In a heartbeat.
Oh,
I bet she'd be a riot.
She would politely and appropriately tell you to fuck off, and it would be amazing.
And drink me under the table.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love
See,
the way she talks.
Chris, it depends on what it is and my mood. Like, I'm a fat kid, so I'm gonna say sweet most of the time. Except for when I'm high. When I'm high, I want some savory shit. Like, I really miss, like, regionally, we have a gas station that used to hand make bread in store.
At a gas
and
station?
I used to, yeah, fucking Maverick, dude. Like,
Wow.
Maverick used to do, like, handmade loaves in store for years. And that's pretty much what I lived off of when I was a teenager, because that's, you know, my ex worked there. So that's all we could eat. So it was that and Pizza Hut, because I worked at Pizza Hut.
Wow.
But man, like those, they're like cheese and jalapeno shit. I'd fist fight Hitler to go back in time for one of those. Like, it was good.
I feel like you'd win. I think Hitler was a bit of a bitch.
Probably a little
Like, to
fucking
be honest.
artsy nerd.
I mean, we're kind of that too, but still.
I mean, I'm an artsy nerd, but I fight people, so it's cool.
I would love to watch like a Hitler fight, because he was like a soft, doughy dude.
Yeah.
He would be like punching the bread in the signature challenge.
Yeah.
Like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
I don't think he'd get back up quite like that bread did.
That's true. Everyone's like, are they talking about fighting Hitler or bread?
Yes, we are. That's what you get on this channel.
What is this about? Yeah, I like that Saku got first in this, but again, it wasn't really a huge accomplishment because everyone shit the bed, but she just shit less.
Yeah, it's like she still didn't quite get it, because if I remember correctly, like it was her cream that was off, like it was too filled. Which, I mean, come on,
Problem
like,
of problems.
I understand, like, you're supposed to basically make the exact thing that they made, but extra cream, fucking come on, it's a sweet.
Mm-hmm. It's expected. It's demanded. I feel bad if it's normal. I feel like I'm shorted. Like I need extra of everything. It's like a donut, and then give me fucking extra. I want some Bavarian spilling out, so I look like I come from a porn shoot or something.
Yeah, 100%. If you don't have to wash your face and your hands after you eat a donut, it's not a good.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking about this savory, like the beginning challenge, because there was like those flavors that they were throwing in there look so goddamn good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we get to the final signature challenge.
Oh man,
those were amazing looking.
Dude, on paper, all of those sounded fantastic, and if they would have all turned out, I would have decimated all of them.
Yeah.
Just made myself deathly ill and not even thought twice about it.
I wish I was the goddamn judge on this show.
Right?
Amazing.
Just, you know what? Let me be the guy that fucking cleans up afterwards. Don't even pay me. I will pay my way over there. I will find my own lodging. I'll just squat at someone's house. And I'll just go clean shit up for them. It's cool.
Yeah. It's like the best job, because all these people can cook, whether it looks great or not, or whether it tastes amazing or just great. That's the difference between winning and losing. So you're guaranteed a great time. It drives me nuts. Every time I watch any of these sort of cooking shows in any degree, I'm always just like, don't waste any of the food. Don't throw anything away, because there's people that will gladly eat it, and it's, the only thing they can have. I mean, there's people starving in our fucking world. Yeah. And there's this huge food problem with consumption and waste. And I don't think they throw anything away with this. I think they do, like, divvy it out.
I would imagine. Like, it just seems like they probably aren't. Well, they're not shitty Americans, so like that's what we're known for is waste.
Yeah, it kills me.
Yeah,
especially when like food prices are rising, homeless crisis is like hitting its peak, and just children don't have food to eat, and then we're just like throwing contestant food away. Like it's not good enough. Like it's good enough for everyone else. Like just fucking keep it out of the garbage, and we'll just take it to a shelter or something, because people need to fucking eat, and this. Regardless of what nation you're in, economically, capitalism leaves people behind. It's just the consequence of capitalism, and it is all over the world. And people, I don't know. All right, I'm just not going to bitch about it, but I hope they don't. Throw
No, I agree. Honestly, like, all right, we all know I'm a little bit of a hater of the human race, we'll say. But that shit does bother me. As much as I don't care if the entire human race, just like the existence of the human race, just gone tomorrow, I'd be fine with that. But it's like, let's not waste shit. Like living things died so that this could be created.
Yeah.
Let's not waste their existence and just throw it in a fucking landfill.
Hell yeah. It really drives me nuts. Like it's just one of the things my wife and I are constantly bitching about every like Hell's Kitchen or Food Nightmares or whatever show that comes on. We're just like, don't fucking throw it away. Like that's why they invented condiments, is to cover up the bad taste of spoiled food. Like that's why it was created. That's why ketchup exists.
Most shit you just need some fucking hot sauce and call it good.
Like sure.
I don't give a fuck. Oh, this is raw. Whatever. Hot sauce and tahini. I'll call it good. Yeah.
And now it's exotic.
Exactly.
All right, so super stoked for, but not surprised by Saku taking number 1, Tasha taking number 2. These two women are just slaying.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, 100%. I'm just sitting back and wondering, like Dana's, oh gosh, who was the one that actually went home? I was surprised. The country kitchen
the one. Yeah, it was Abby that went home. Yeah, I wasn't surprised with her going home.
For some reason in the back of my head, I'm rooting for her because she does seem like one of those wildly introverted people who just can't really get out of her own way because she's just always sort of like, stressed and panicked and stuff inside. Especially when you see how she reacts emotionally. That's not a stable person's reaction.
No, that was some, like, tears every time her mouth was open.
Something is happening. But seeing how she's like exercising on rings, and I don't know, there's something about her. I'm just sort of cheering, that underdog thing that people do. But you can't, like, when you're fucking up, like, you're just screwed. There's nothing you can do. Like, she was just doing so poorly, so consistently. It was almost like it was literally a contest between her and Dan to see who could do worse.
That's exactly what it was, and it literally came down to the cottage loaf.
Yeah.
I think if she had put salt in it so that the chemical reaction, so that, like, all the leavening actually happened and it rise properly, I think it would have been Dan that went home.
Yeah.
Especially because they were saying that it was good flavor. It just needed salt, and that's so disheartening.
Yeah, what's that Scottish lady's name that used the Scottish salt?
Was
she Nikki? Yeah, Nikki.
So, Nikki, man.
The Angus cow.
That
so great.
And it was so funny too, because the second she's like, "Oh, there's a good Scottish salt," whoops. And it's like,
so
of all the shit to say with that ingredient, oops is not like oops is you start the fuck over.
Yeah,
because you can use too much garlic. I hear that's a thing, but I call bullshit. I've never experienced it. But yeah, like too much salt is a fucking thing. And yeah,
there's no coming back from that. Yeah, just seeing that huge clump that she put down, I was like, that's is that mild salt? Is Scottish salt known to be mild? Because that's a lot of salt you got.
Right.
Like, I've done that mistake thinking it's sugar, and I put salt in instead of sugar because I'm a dummy. But that's why I'm not on baking shows. Like, I feel like you should know. And then if you know the ingredient, like you're from Scotland, this is your Scottish salt you're bringing over because you love the whatever about it, you should know to scoop that shit back out. Like,
right?
It's too much.
Yeah, especially because it is such a massive grain. Like, you could just take like a fork and go, that's probably about right. And just scrape the shit off, or hell, just brush it off, because all the roasted garlic, it's already probably absorbed a pretty decent amount of that salt. So whatever comes off, you probably don't need.
Yeah, just seeing the reaction of the judges when they try it, and they were just like,
"Yeah,
is that salt? What is that?" We're just like, "Oh, that's Scottish salt. Okay, I'll never use that."
Rough. That was rough.
Thing is, like, salt is pretty amazing. It comes in such a weird, wide variety of like textural flavor that's so different that I would never have thought. And so that's why I was so surprised. Like, I never even heard of Scottish salt.
Well, and it's a necessity. Like, just how it works is it opens up the flavor receptors in your tongue. So it's like, if you don't salt something properly, you're not going to taste shit.
Yeah, that's why I always salt my wife when I go down.
I mean, it's smart. It's practical.
She screams, I think, but
we're going to assume that it's in pleasure.
Yeah. It's like a snail. It's just like bubbling. I'm like, this is you're good, right? Oh my God. That's what I thought. Okay.
I need to go to the emergency room.
I assume that's how it works. I don't really know.
Yeah, probably.
Hi, Shauna. How are you? I love you. All right, no more Scottish salt. Yeah, so the centerpiece, for the showstoppers, basically they just had to make some sort of bread construction. That's kind of how these goes. Depending on the season, it seems almost like it is like a season thing. Some seasons everyone goes huge on the showstoppers. Other seasons it's like all flat, sort of just decoration. This was plated specific, which seems like a goddamn nightmare when I saw people doing like math.
Dude, as soon as you get more than 3, I'm checked the fuck out.
It's insane.
Like why, especially with oh god, what's her name? Christy? Was that it? Yeah, Christy. 9 fucking plats, and that was fucking beautiful. Like that was textbook challah bread. Yeah. The second they cut that shit, my mouth was watering, and I'm like, I need that loaf to make not fry bread, holy fuck, to make French toast. Like that, oh my god, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And just the complexity, holy shit. Like that shit looked like it was made by a machine.
Yeah.
Like amazing.
It's wild because when it looks good, it's like a Celtic knotwork, amazing sort of stuff. When it's sort of mediocre and bad, you're just like, I could probably done that.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
You know,
that's how it always goes.
I feel like they're just cutting the pleats rather than it actually being pleated at all, or plated. Sorry. Yeah. Any standouts for you personally that you liked?
I mean, again, Christie's like that one. That was just fucking beautiful. I mean, I get that she fucked up because it was supposed to be the chocolate plated loaf inside of the challah. Whatever. It's still like it just, again, the complexity of that braid and just how fucking perfect that structure was of that challah. Yeah. That was beautiful. So that was probably my favorite. And then of course Nikki's was fucking hilarious. Like it tasted like
adorable.
You know, eating a salt lick, but it was so goddamn cute. Like I am a sucker for Highland cows.
Yeah.
And then of course
they're cute as hell.
Yeah, man, that's like my favorite part of going to the fair is being able to pet the Highland cows.
Oh, wow.
I haven't figured out how to steal one yet, but I'm getting here.
There's not enough room under the kilt. I try every time.
It out. And then of course Tasha's was beautiful. And just the complexity of those hands. Like I feel like it was almost a disservice to not see the bottom side of the hands until they were talking about it at the end of the show, and Noel picks it up. Like those were fucking amazing.
Yeah, each tiny little digit is braided. The whole hand is braided. Like the Medusa, all the snakes and shit. I mean, she deserved that win. She did a great job.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just because of it's Medusa, and I love that Gorgon, that sort of mythological character is so cool. And the fact that she covered the eyes to protect the judges. I mean, that's just
it was a lot
nerdy
of
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that stuff.
You know what, Chris? I've been trying to find that her show for years because I want to desperately listen to that.
It's just talking about my tiny penis. That's really all it is. My disappointing micro peen. She's like, I wish I had Hitler's penis. I heard it was huge. No, it's not. Just compared to mine, it was. All right, she just pours salt on it to make me cry. Shoves Scottish salt deep in my hole. I'm just like, oh, it burns. This is payback, bitch.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
This is why we're married. We just salt each other. No one else will take us. Yeah, I mean, the stuffed crust pizza Dan did.
On
I
paper,
thought it looked good. It's just when he was running out of time and he ran out of dough, weirdly. Like, you don't plan this shit? This is your signature fucking challenge, dude.
Right. And the thing is, too, the thing I don't understand, especially because they're British, so everything's grams and they have scales. Like, it's literal math to make, like baking in general. It's just math and understanding chemical reactions. And we know this motherfucker knows his shit. Like, he has been great up until this point. So for him to run out of not only just some dough, but that much, it's just like, how did you do this?
You know what I think it was? And I'm going on a limb here, but I think Scotland Yard needs to start listening to our show. I think because he's a serial killer.
Yeah,
so his target escaped earlier that day. And so he was not thinking about the show. He was thinking about the escapee and whether or not he's going to get caught.
All right. That stands to reason.
I think that's why. It's the only possible reason. Otherwise, he's a fucking idiot.
Obviously.
Yeah, I loved how they like highlighted that he works out. Because no one on this show ever has worked out before.
Right, except for everybody.
So funny.
Yeah.
Like, you have someone who works out on this show? Let's talk about his arm size. And then he got like all sort of chuffed about it for a minute. And he's like, I just lift up these loaves. Like, dude.
Yeah. It's like there's so many other things that they could like banter with that guy over. But whatever, I guess that's it.
I would love to see just our banter if we were the hosts. It would all be serial killer stuff, and he would have no idea what we're talking about. He's just
right.
Like, sure.
Does anybody understand these fucking Yanks? I don't know what's going on.
The 0.1% of people in the population who like serial killers would be like, ah! And the British Baking Show. What is the over-under? I feel like anyone who likes serial killers just has to love baking. I feel like one goes with the other.
Yeah, of course.
You're manipulating life in one way.
You have to be insane to enjoy baking, and you have to be insane to like killing people. I mean, liking people that kill people.
Yeah. Oh, the tiger one was dope too. I
was just gonna say I did love that. Gosh. That was like that's the thing is he managed to keep that shit so balanced and even. Mm-hmm. Like, even Paul was fucking like, this is impressive.
I thought he was going to get a handshake. I really did.
You know what? I'm fucking so pissed that there were 2 that should have been given out. That was, of course, him, because that was great. And, even Paul was saying, like, the fact that it's 2 completely different doughs platted together, but structurally and texturally they're the same, and it, baked evenly. Like, that's fucking impressive. Mm-hmm. And then just how he waxed poetically, basically, about Tasha's, and she didn't get a fucking handshake. I'm just sitting there like, okay, when's it going to happen? Because we've seen him in this season.
He chased after fucking Josh.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we've seen this shit happen. She fucking deserved it. Like, seriously, hearing, bread from Paul Hollywood. It's like, I mean, now, granted, that's better than a fucking handshake, because that's the only time we've ever heard it. And then her reaction at the end of the show when she's like, I can't doubt myself anymore now. Like, that sounds better than a handshake, beautiful. But she still fucking deserved a damn handshake.
Oh man, that moment.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
It's so great. I love it when people realize that they are so much better than they thought they were in whatever the thing is. And just seeing her sort of realize, because she, again, if you're deaf, if you have anything that sort of sets you back behind, clubfoot, hangnail, you understand what it's like to be
this
deaf.
Face. Yeah, I understand.
So fucked up. I was gonna try to make a good point here. So like, she has shit stacked against her, and so she lives with that. Just a part of who she is. And we all have our own things that, sort of we let dominate our perspectives and our behaviors and thoughts. And for her to, in that moment on the show, address her insecurity and then step right over it in the very next breath, I was just like, you need to talk to fucking Abby, because she needs to realize that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she was killing it up until this episode.
Yeah. I mean, and she's, it's not like she's no longer on the show, but she still can, take that as a huge win and use that as a propeller to get past her insecurities. I don't think it's a cultural thing, and I don't think it's a generational thing. But I do see it more, probably just because of the pervasiveness of social media and how connected everyone is all the time. But it seems like people embrace their insecurities or their faults and use that as a defining aspect of who they are, rather than trying to get over them, to work through them or move past them. And to see just on this stupid little show, one single person say, no, I'm not going to be defined by that. I'm actually going to stop doing the thing that I always identified myself with. The fucking hell yeah. I just want to applaud you and stand up and give you an ovation. Yeah. That's great. We
Absolutely.
need more of that in life.
Yeah, because you don't see that. It's like that is a thing where now it's a victim culture. Like
Yeah.
everybody has to be something has to be wrong, something has to be going against them in order to be a whole human
Mhm.
versus standing up against whatever is against you and celebrating that.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I love Tasha now. I kind of didn't like her at all initially.
So it's funny. First episode I was whatever, we'll see where she goes. Last episode, all right, she's pretty good. This one, like, no man, she was fucking great.
Yeah. But so
Yeah.
we've seen so many of these shows where halfway through the season we're like, "Oh, they're clearly going to win." And
Mhm.
then it just goes off a cliff.
Yeah, I am worried about that. But I don't know, man. It's like as long as she holds on to that feeling of the end of this episode
Yeah.
and can just like really push through, I think she can get through.
I hope so. I really want to see her. I want to see her and Abby. Oh gosh, who's the third person we'd want to see in the very, very end?
Oh, Saku, definitely. Like have to.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Abby. I meant Saku,
Oh,
Tasha,
okay.
and who's the third one that I would want to see?
So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence right now because it's either
I feel like Nikki's going to be going home soon. The Scottish
yeah,
girl.
probably, and that's sad. Like I want her to stay through to the end just because I love listening to her talk.
Yeah, for sure.
But out of like actual skill and stuff, like
Mhm.
I think it's going to be, or I'd like to see between Christy and Dana. Like
Ooh.
they're pretty good.
Yeah. I've actually kind of had like a weird crush on Christy this whole time.
That's fair.
But for some reason, she's never really worked that crush out to like a passion because she's just not cooking like everyone else is. And I just
That's
can't
fair.
respect you
Understandable.
if you can't make like my wife just did this amazing zucchini chocolate bread that is just like crack. That's just great. If you can't make something better than that, then I can't obsess over you. So, I mean,
That's
I'll still
fair.
jerk it to you, 100%. But
Yeah, I mean,
I can't
you
obsess.
jerk it to a lot of different things. Like that's not really a compliment. It's the
Jerked it to a highland cow.
passionate jerks
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what you should be, hoping for.
Right. So weird. I'm like doing my best to not think of the reality, the state of our world that we're in right now, because right now it's fucking on fire.
Yeah,
And I'm
no.
trying just to enjoy the absurdity of this baking show while we're doing this, sort of ridiculous little podcast thing. But like this does bring me so much joy compared to like what else is just like looming over life,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's why I feel like shit like this needs to be celebrated because it literally is just the little things in life that make you not want to kill yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's the shit you have to hold on to. Because, I mean, yeah, the world's fucking World War III is coming at some point in time. It's been leading up for years.
Fucking as close as we've ever been.
Yeah, it's just like the economy is going to shit. Fucking, you can't afford to eat, can't afford to do shit. Like it's miserable, but
Yeah.
luckily we have shows like this to at least give us an hour of relief from all of that once a week.
And it's weird because you have the stress of your typical competition situation, and then you have the insanity of not being in total control of the weather, because that's going to affect your bake depending on what you're doing. Of course, with like yeast, it's going to affect it greatly, your temperature that in time and duration you're leaving to prove and stuff. It just, there's so much stacked against you in this type of an environment. To have that levity of the hosts, to have those moments of sheer joy from contestants, and even that sorrow and stuff, at the end, you get this really wonderful catharsis. Like, that's what we need in these moments of sort of disparity in life, to sort of have these little joyous, stressful, experiences. And I was sort of joking last week about how stressful that was. This was so much worse, much more stressful. Cut by the constant ball jokes.
Yeah, man, that was the real winner.
Like
constant. And I'll give it to Maddie. He was damn good at trying to keep a straight face and to carry the conversation. Well, the conversation, keep the joke going.
Yeah.
God, and between that and him straight up almost like chucking his fucking chantilly cream, that was like the polar opposites of this episode, of pure intensity and fucking hilarious.
I mean, it wasn't as good as the was it Buns that Prue said? Tell me about your buns, or tell me about your pie.
It was the pie, yeah. Pie. It was the pie.
So that was amazing. Whatever the line Prue said, and I thought the buns thing was going too long. And then when Tasha like jumped in, we got to cool our balls. It's like, I don't think you've ever seen balls before, like ever. I'm assuming. I mean, she's a grown woman, so she must have. I don't know what her sexuality is. I don't fucking care. I'm just making assumptions here. I don't know. I don't. There must be a kink for people. Oh, you can't hear? Let's fuck. Like, right?
Probably.
I don't know.
There's a kink for everything, so I would just imagine.
Especially in Britain. So maybe she's like knee deep in balls, and so she knows exactly what she's talking about. But for some reason, like these sort of like prim and proper women, I never imagined handling like messy, saggy old men's wrinkly balls with
That's
wild
fair.
hairs going everywhere, like just like the nastiest balls.
You know,
they're making jokes.
I try not to imagine that myself.
When I'm playing with old men's balls, I do my best not to think.
I usually think about anything else in the world but that.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. The whole ball thing, I thought it was like a joke that went too long. And then especially when you have that new host, what's her fucking name? Alison, she was like, all right, let's not get nasty. It was like, you've been doing it too.
Right?
Who are you to try to squash the joke?
Have you not seen this show and where this goes sometimes? That's the funny thing about typically when it gets to the toilet humor and shit. They get to a point where it's not funny anymore because it's overdone, and then they step just past that to where it's funny again. This one, it didn't quite get to that point, but I was still giggling.
Yeah. I also, before we sort of close out this conversation, I think Josh is an alien. He is what if you were an alien coming from another galaxy or universe or whatever, and you saw our species and you're like, I need to infiltrate them and make the most mundane looking human with no personality at all, I would make Josh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he is some sort of hybrid with humans and greys. I would say Asgardians, but I feel like they're a little bit bigger than he would be, even if it was a mixed breed. So yeah, I could see him being half gray. Yeah,
I mean, you're sort of dipping your toe in X-Files territory with that, and I really love that. So that's definitely what it is. He's a human-alien hybrid for sure.
Yeah,
he may not know it, but he is. Yeah. Just like Dan may not know he's an actual serial killer. He's like, I just thought I was a fan of certain types of people. No, you're a serial killer.
Yeah, all those times that you black out, man, when you come back and you're not wearing clothes, it's not because you're a werewolf. It's because you're a serial killer.
Oh, wait a second. Is that why I do
maybe.
that?
Fuck, maybe he is a werewolf.
That would be cool, too. That would actually be really cool. He needs some edge. Because
he's got to have
he's
something.
Doing, he's fucking shit in the bed. I would love it if he just showed up on an episode of What We Do in the Shadows. Just randomly. Right. He's like, so is this where I take a leak against a tree? And the other werewolves are like, no, that's someone's house. Like, just give us one tiny scene. I'll be happy.
That needs to happen.
I feel like they'd do it. That'd be cool.
Because I feel like they're listening to us.
Yeah, for sure.
So it should happen. We need that mashup. Just to confirm.
I live in this weird universe where the more obsessed I am clearly must mean that the person I'm obsessed with has to be obsessed with me. So
yeah, obviously.
It's got to be the...
No, it's a symbiotic relationship. Yeah. Like, they're let's just say stardom, for instance. Their stardom doesn't exist without your fandom.
Yeah.
It is a reciprocal thing. So, obviously, if you're obsessed with someone, they have to know and be obsessed with you.
All right, Laszlo and Nadja.
Yep.
Let's do this. I've never met a master coxman before. Let's get this thing done. I will be your Colin Robinson. In that weird fucking possession episode scene.
Oh, God, that's still... I think about that often.
was so amazing. I miss that show so much. Oh man. All right, so we're at the end now. So we have
it.
The top winner is of course Tasha. She did an amazing
Tasha
job.
fucking killed it, and then of course Abby she was gone.
Yeah, and I was surprised she didn't start bawling more. But then Dan like death hugged her. He was like, "You're my next victim."
Yeah,
in her ear. She was all. All right. Fuck.
I believe it.
It's crazy. Again, who was the second runner-up? So it was Rowan and Dan. No, Rowan and Dan. Wait, what's purple?
Runner-up.
Baker was one of the judges' least favorite. So Rowan's final was the least favorite of the judges. What was that? Oh yeah, Rowan did the Rowan tree. It was like the only vertical one that just tasted like garbage.
Oh yeah.
No,
it was so bad. Yeah.
This is diabolical. First it was horrid, and now whatever it was, he's like, I'm gonna get it tattooed on me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course Josh's was pretty goddamn close.
I want to take that dude out for a pint, Rowan. Just talk to him about his neck beard. Let's have a conversation. You're
it's
awesome, but
dude, just get rid of it, man. Don't try. It's not fooling anybody that you can grow facial hair. Yeah, Chris, I think we both could have called that pretty easily. It was Tasha. Like she's
killing
fucking killed it. Like if anybody else would have won, it would have been surprising.
That Medusa was dope as fuck.
Yeah, nothing like if we ignored everything else, like just went off the showstopper. Yeah, the Medusa alone would have done it.
And then of course to have those two women as the top two just makes me feel good because they couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
Like in their sensibilities for baking and their flavor profiles they try to bring out in their bakes, but they're both amazing at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I need to do like a political campaign because she deserves a handshake. Paul owes that bitch.
Right.
Goddamn. Sign the handshake if you need to, but get that goddamn thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need more fake sign language people that just like do random hands. We need to get our own, and we'll just put them like right up in the corner. Or the corner.
I mean, what's even better is I know people that know sign language, but they're not like they can spell stuff out, but they can't like speak like full words.
Right.
So I think that
spelling the whole thing
would be amazing to try to have them dictate or to translate while we're doing it. Yeah, I'll have to make some calls.
Dude, seriously, if we could get someone on, that'd be amazing.
That'd be hilarious.
They're just having a whole different conversation than us.
Probably.
Talking about how stupid we are. That'd be great. And no one would ever know.
Shauna said she'll do it.
All right. Tag, you're it.
It's in writing.
You have to stop your podcast for 1 week to come on here.
Or, you know what? Just sign out your podcast.
Yeah.
And we won't know any better.
There you go. We'll assume you're just making us look awesome.
Yeah.
Instead of talking shit about us. All right. That's it. That's the show.
That's the show. And Chris, I think it's too early to say for sure. I'm betting it's Saku or Tasha, but the thing is, with this show,
it's the fucking problem,
you don't fucking know. Like halfway point, people can change completely.
One bad week is all it takes to get.
Yeah,
you can be amazing. You have one bad week and you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Josh, the alien hybrid, could win because he's just under the radar enough. He's not doing horrible. He's not doing great that he could survive all of the craziness. If he's like just focusing. Christy's another one. She's sort of under the radar, just sort of floating by enough to last long enough. Like I think, I don't know if it was last season or the one before, where I was a little disappointed with the finalists. I just didn't think they really earned it. They just sort of floated by and got there.
Yeah, that was last season, I think.
But I don't want to see that again. I mean, we have people who deserve it, who are just killing it. So let's hope they can keep it up. Anyway.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else?
Think we got it covered.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in live or watching this after the fact. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, a little bit stressful, a little bit funny, a little bit annoying, a little bit serial killer. But that's the Great British Baking Show.
Absolutely.
And if you've never watched this and you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, do yourself a favor. It's on Netflix. Just go watch it. Or it's on Sky if you're like, is it Sky Channel? Sky
I'm not sure.
Or something. I don't know. What if you're in UK or you're overseas, just find it because it's amazing. It's
or just
super
fucking
enjoyable.
go there. We'll pretend that it's live. You can just watch outside of the tent.
Dude, I would love the B-roll that they get of the landscape and the environment of the tent and stuff. I would love to just visit.
If I ever actually make my ass cross the pond, I am going to visit there.
It'd be amazing.
Even if
I
it's
feel like they
me
do it
like
in different
hopping
places,
a fence and getting arrested, I'm going to do it.
Dude, any security guard that's guarding the Great British Baking Show, I feel like I could take. That dude is definitely eating out of the garbage. 100%.
I feel like we probably wouldn't have to fight him though. Be like, dude, look, I'm with you, man. Let's go fucking raid this can. And then just shoving faces out of the can. I think it'd be cool.
Turns.
Yeah.
Just upending it in each other's mouths. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. As always, remember, like it or not, evil spelled backwards is live. Let's get out there and be evil.
Yeah.
Not as evil as Dan.
Definitely not as evil as Dan. We can't endorse that. Our lawyers are telling us not to endorse that.